Welcome to Hello Baltimore County. I'm your host, Ellen Kobler. We are here today in the historic courthouse in Towson in the offices of County Executive Don Mohler. Thank you so much for taking time with us today.
Oh, it's great to be here, Ellen. Thank you.
Now, you were elected by the Baltimore County Council in May after the sudden death of County Executive Kevin Kamenetz. How do you see your role for the next several months?
Well, first, I think we start by saying that it wasn't supposed to be this way. On May the 10th, I lost a good friend. The county lost an outstanding county executive. I think what we learned is that life doesn't always play out the way you hoped, and that you just take it as it comes. And I've said over and over, for those who watched on television or were at the county executive's service, there was this incredible moment where the county executive's wife, Jill Kamenetz, who just spoke so eloquently, she looked at the two boys who were seated in the first row, and she said, "We're going to be okay." And I think what I say to the people of Baltimore County as we move forward for the next 6.5 months, we're going to be okay. Baltimore County is strong, and I think in terms of when you say the role and the vision, I think there are a couple of things at play. One, County Executive Kamenetz, who will be on my shoulder for the entire 6.5 months, had clear vision about certain passions. He cared deeply about education and his investment in education. He cared deeply about public safety. He knew we had to rebuild our aging infrastructure, and maybe if we have time, we can talk a little bit more about that later. And he also had this incredible commitment to the Baltimore County that is 2018. He recognized that Baltimore County in 2018 is not the Baltimore County of 1950, that it's an increasingly diverse county, and that diversity is indeed the county's strength. So I think in terms of those core principles, I think we continue to move forward with those. And then I think we try to put our own footprint on what is taking place and the direction that the county can move. And County Executive Kamenetz and I often talked about that. I think it's time to have a real discussion about seeing if government can't be more open, more transparent, and increase customer service. I think if you can do that, I think local government is where rubber really meets the road. And if you can be open and you can be transparent and you can do whatever you can do to increase customer service, I think then people feel good about local government. We have an outstanding county. It's a wonderful place to live. We have terrific schools. We have wonderful recreation opportunities. It's really a wonderful place to raise a family.
Now, you have been a leader in local government as well as in education. Why don't you share with the people of Baltimore County a little bit about your background?
Sure. I began my career in the Baltimore County Public Schools many moons ago as a social studies teacher, and then took a pretty traditional path through the school system as a teacher, a department head, and assistant principal. And then assistant principal at Dundalk High, which was a terrific experience. I loved being on the east side at Dundalk, and then remained on the east side as principal of Sparrows Point Middle School, and then moved back to the west side as principal of Catonsville High School before being asked to go out and become part of the central office. And I had several positions out there in terms of assistant superintendent for communications and staff outreach and community outreach, and then actually serving as an area superintendent in charge of the northeast area of the county. At the end of 30 years working with the school system, then Baltimore County Executive Jim Smith approached me and asked if I would shift over to the government side to become his communications director, which I did, and then for the final 2 years of County Executive Smith's term, served as acting chief of staff, and then County Executive Kamenetz asked me to remain as his chief of staff. So when I look back, it doesn't even compute to me that it's been almost 15 years now that I've been on the government side of the coin.
So with that local government experience here in Baltimore County, what do you see as some of your main priorities for the remainder of the term?
Well, again, I mean, I think we continue to work closely with School Superintendent Verlita White. I mean, we're so fortunate in Baltimore County to have an outstanding superintendent, someone who grew up in the school system, who taught in the school system, who cares deeply about children. I say over and over to folks, if you look across this country, it's really unusual to find the kind of stability that we have the opportunity to have in Baltimore County, and to have someone who's homegrown, who knows our county, who knows our schools, who knows the communities. And I think as we continue to implement the $1.6 billion Schools for Our Future program, as we continue to get the outstanding results that we're getting in the school system. Public safety remains a priority. We have an incredible police, fire, emergency management system. I think the performance recently by both police, particularly fire, and our Department of Public Works during the recent floods in the southwest part of the county and a portion of the southeast was just remarkable. And the feedback from individuals on the performance of county employees was so gratifying. I mean, it was just, it was amazing to see how our employees stepped up to help citizens who were really in a really tough time during those floods. And then, as I said, continue to celebrate the diversity and continue to focus on our aging infrastructure.
Now, in the short time you've been at the helm as county executive, you've already had to make some tough decisions, including one thing that people are noticing is an increase in the water and sewer rates. Can you explain that decision?
Yeah, I certainly can. And before, it's interesting when you mention what's happened in the 3 weeks before we get to the water and sewer rates. I mean, I think, you know, immediately we lost an incredible police officer, an Amy Caprio, by all accounts, just not an outstanding young lady, but someone who was a rising star in the Baltimore County Police Department. And I remember, I will never forget the day of riding in that processional on the way to Delaney Memorial Gardens and looking at the thousands, and that's not an exaggeration, it was thousands of cars and people stopped along the Beltway and standing on the overpasses, just wanting to pay tribute to one of our fallen heroes. And I had a police officer say to me that day, said, you know, he turned to me and he said, Don, they still really do like us. Yeah. And I think it's so easy to lose sight of that in what can be a very difficult time in our nation's history. But I think at their core, citizens in general, and certainly in Baltimore County, recognize that these are ordinary men and women who get up each and every day to go out and protect us. And very often they end up doing extraordinary things. So that was, again, an incredible challenge. And then we went right from that into the flood, where southwest Baltimore County, particularly the Catonsville area, had 10 inches of rain in 4 to 5 hours.
Just incredible.
As the Director of Emergency Management reminded me that a 1,000-year storm is categorized as 8 inches of rain in a 24-hour period. We had 10 inches in 4 hours, actually more than Ellicott City. So a real challenge for that part of the county. But again, out of that comes good, because it was neighbor helping neighbor. What can I do for you? People bringing pumps over, helping to pump out each other's basement. Can I help you get rid of the debris? You just walked away saying, this is a special place to live, and that at their core, if we give them a chance, people will show you how good they can be. That brings us then full circle to your question about the metropolitan district rates,
it actually
which are
does
really
relate.
Water and sewer rates, and we have to raise them significantly. And I certainly would prefer not to do that. We're going to raise rates about 13.5% this year, and I then expect that we're going to have annual increases of somewhere in the vicinity of 5%. And the reason we need to do that is we're investing $1.8 billion, and I need to repeat that. It's $1.8 billion with a B dollars to upgrade our aging infrastructure. And you would have difficulty, I think, going anywhere in this county where people haven't been affected by a water main break and traffic's disrupted. They're without water for days. That's unacceptable. Our pipes are crumbling. Our sewer system is crumbling. We can't be pouring sewage into the Chesapeake Bay. We value the Chesapeake Bay in Baltimore County, probably more than anyone in the state. We have 200 miles of waterfront. So I think when you explain it to individuals that way and you say, this fund is independent, it's separate from the general fund, and it must be self-sustaining. We have to keep that fund self-sustaining so we can make that investment, and also so that we don't get downgraded by the rating agencies. If we were to lose a AAA bond rating because of our inability to maintain the Metropolitan District Fund, that would cost taxpayers significant millions of dollars in added interest payments. So I think when you talk to folks, you explain to them what the investment is. No one likes any kind of fee to go up. I understand that, but I also think Baltimore County people get it, and they understand that if we're going to maintain the quality of life that we have in Baltimore County, you have to invest back in our systems.
Well, in the minute or so we have left, what kind of main message would you like to convey to the people of Baltimore County?
I would just ask people of Baltimore County to remain optimistic. It's really easy in this day and age to get jaded. I like to say that I'm a cockeyed optimist, and I think people are good. I think people want to do the right thing. There are great stories each and every day in Baltimore County. We ask them to stay connected with us. Tell those stories on Facebook at Baltimore County. In emergency, stay connected to us at Baco Emergency on Twitter. I've asked folks in just a few weeks, every time they can, to tell their stories. Hashtag I love Baltimore County. Hashtag it on Facebook, hashtag it on Twitter. I love Baltimore County, because I think when people celebrate what's good in a community, when they celebrate what's good in government, when they celebrate what's good about their neighbors, then we really become a really strong county. So I'm very bullish on Baltimore County. I've never lived anyplace else, and I think that we're going to continue to thrive.
All right. Well, thank you so much for taking time with us today.
Oh, it's been my pleasure. Thank you.
Sure. And thank you for watching Hello Baltimore County. Remember, as the county executive said, connect with Baltimore County on all of our social media platforms.